They say travel changes you. What they don't mention is sometimes it happened midair, when you're committed to jumping off a cliff and suddenly realize you have no idea what you're doing. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Moalboal, it turns out, requires 2 flights, a 3.5-hour drive from Cebu, and the talent to sleep in short, inconsistent bursts that somehow leave you more exhausted than when you started. I'm finally here in Moalboal in the Philippines. It's been a long way to get here. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that I got some sleep on the plane and on the car. Also, let me show you my new nails. I got them done in Hanoi yesterday before I came here. They're just so beautiful. They executed it so well, and the attention to details is crazy. What you don't see next is me sleeping for 14 hours straight. But then came morning, and with it, the real beginning of what I'd soon discover wasn't justification, but a journey that would teach me 3 unexpected lessons about life, connection, and myself. As I began exploring, 3 questions emerged that I didn't even know I was asking. How much courage do I have? What happens when you truly connect with strangers? And what does contentment really look like? 5 days and countless moments later, I had my answers. We're at Kawasan Canyoneering. I'm so excited, but also scared at the same time because I'm scared of height. So how far to the jumping spot from here?
10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay.
Yeah.
Currently hiking to the jumping spot. 10 more minutes to go. We've already hiked for, I guess, 20 minutes, so about half an hour in total. Just asked the tour guide the techniques to jump because I've never cliff jumping before, and I'm also scared of height, but he said don't look down. Don't hesitate, just look straight and jump, because the more you look down, the more you'll get scared and hesitate. And well, I did not listen to that. I looked down every single time, so here goes the trembling legs and noisy mind.
Don't be scared. Okay, and 3, 2, 1, go! Relax.
Nobody warned me about proper jumping form, so I invited what I now call the thigh flop. Turns out, slapping the water with your legs at full speed isn't the recommended technique, so that was a very humbling experience. But with each jump, that voice saying, "I got this," grew a little louder. By the end, I was actually asking for extra practice jumps. Still not graceful, but definitely less terrified. Turns out the best feelings in life await for you on the other side of fear. And those red bruises on my legs now became my badges of honor.
I think it's okay for you.
Free dive today.
Okay.
So your name Tony?
Yes.
And Michael.
Together here, together.
Day 3 brought a whole new flavor of fear. If canyoneering was about falling, free diving was about surrendering. To the depth, to the pressure, to the counterintuitive notion that relaxing is how you survive underwater. This day was basically a highlight reel of failing and retrying. From constantly floating back up whenever I try to dive down, to completely forgetting how to use my fins once underwater. And when I wasn't worrying about running out of breath, I was trying to prevent my ears from exploding, all while rushing back to the surface with my biking technique. After a morning of becoming intimately acquainted with my limitations, I waved the white flag and spent the entire afternoon binging on YouTube tutorials on how to free dive and ended the day watching the sunset on White Beach. Just 2 days after my thigh flopping debut, I found myself at the edge again. Something has shifted. Maybe it was the confidence from surviving the first round, or maybe I just didn't want any more red bruises on my legs, but I was noticeably less terrified this time. The difference was that I had somehow remembered to stand straight and to jump without hesitation. Let's just point out that I did thigh flop one time. Yes, I did that. It wasn't perfect. Day 5 brought me back to freediving, this time with a mission to see the famous sardine run and hopefully spot some sea turtles. And let me tell you, the courage I've been building over the past days, plus the YouTube tutorials, were finally paying off. Swimming among these beautiful sea creatures, I felt incredibly alive, grateful, and in awe of the beauty this world has to offer. And for a moment there, time seemed to stop completely. In the embrace of waters I once feared, I collected memories and silent reminders that courage isn't about conquering fear, but about opening doorways to wonder we never knew existed. While finding courage changed how I faced challenges, it was unexpected connections that truly transformed my journey. This transformation began on day 4 with what started as a warning but ended as a revelation. We had rented a scooter for the day to explore the island, and what the camera didn't capture was a group of random guys approaching us on the way up to Osmana Peak. They claim we can ride our motorbikes up ourselves because of rocky roads ahead and insisted on taking over our bikes for us. With no one else around and zero context about who these guys were, every travel safety alarm in my head started ringing. So what we did was smile politely, lie through our teeth, and start heading down the mountain. That's when we stumbled upon a small village where everything changed. We met a local who introduced us to another family that could help us up to Osmana Peak. We were still cautious though. We asked lots of questions, took photos with them, and sent the pictures to friends without location. What began as a simple request for help getting up the mountain quickly became something else entirely. These two guys, who are lifelong friends, didn't just show us the way. They welcomed us into their home, introduced us to their families and their chicken even, and before we even knew it, they insisted that we choose a song for an impromptu karaoke session. I was asked some local in this village to help us get the motorcycle up to Osmana Peak because the road is really steep. And now I'm at a local Filipino home, and they're singing karaoke, and they have so much chicken, and they're invited as like our own family. What the camera couldn't capture was the pure joy these people radiated. They laughed at everything, and I mean everything. They shared stories about their families, show us hidden viewpoints tourists never see, and made every moment feel like we had known each other for years. At one point, they spotted a car stuck in the mud and immediately stopped to help. No hesitation, no expectation of reward, just a natural instinct to be of service. From speaking with them, I learned that these people had never traveled beyond their small town, yet they possessed a wealth that had nothing to do with money or distance traveled. I soon realized that they had mastered something many of us spend our whole lives chasing: the simple art of being present, of finding joy in connection, and of having immense gratitude for what we already have. As we parted ways and headed towards our next location, I realized I hadn't got a chance to take any videos with them. I had been too busy living them. It got me thinking, maybe the most meaningful parts of our journey leave no digital footprint, just an imprint on who we become. I love Eco Express. This is the first time I got a chance to try it, and it's amazing. I love pork belly. It's so far my favorite Filipino dish. These meaningful connections didn't just fill my days with warmth. They completely shifted how I saw the world around me. This shift in perspective followed me everywhere. As I returned to the sea, my journey beneath the waves was guided by the people who embody that same joyful energy. They're the kind of people who make you rethink what a happy, fulfilling life really means. This is Tony.
Hello, morning. Yep. Hello, morning.
And this is Mark. These are our two amazing tour guide and teachers. Tony ran a small family dive shop with his brothers. What struck me wasn't just their skill in the water, but the easy rhythm of people who had found their perfect place in the world.
Next. Despacito. Cute.
Like so many people I met in the Philippines, they'd never venture far from home. No world tours, no passport stamps, just a profound contentment with a slice of paradise they call their own. There's something humbling about being welcomed so genuinely by people who embody the very joy you're seeking. Throughout this journey, I've gotten the privilege to interact with locals who have touched me on so many levels, and I'm so grateful for that. As these people guided me through their world, I couldn't help but notice a pattern emerging. They were the people with the biggest smiles, who laughed the most freely, who showed incredible gratitude for what they had despite having traveled nowhere. I'm starting to realize now that the most profound moments of my trip were coming from connections with people who had found happiness not in constant motion, but in being fully present in their corner of the world. 5 days isn't long enough to find answers, but sometimes they find you anyway. Courage, it turns out, isn't about being fearless. It's about being terrified and jumping anyways. Then doing it again, a little better each time. Connection doesn't require shared history, only shared humanity. Sometimes found in unexpected interactions with strangers who made you feel instantly at home. And contentment, I found it reflected in the eyes of the people who'd never left their hometowns, yet seemed to possess a wealth I was still chasing. The camera missed so much of this journey. The nervous breaths before the jumps, the laughter that needs no translation, and the quiet moments of realization. But maybe that's the point of traveling, not to capture everything, but to be changed by the things you can.